Hey, what's going on? This is Nate. I'm going to record a full Ableton new set setup for our Sunday morning services. So, this is the service we're setting up today. You're not going to see it. I'm going to have it off screen, but this is what I'll be referencing. So, video announcements, a couple songs in a row, spiritual direction, promises, and then a pure exaltation with a reprise. So I'll pop that over every now and then so you can see what we're working with. But that's what we're going for. So this is kind of the default set I have. Some blank space in case I need some stuff to work with. A few song blocks. Pre-programmed MIDI notes on all of the indicators. Pre-programmed instrumentals.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We use the female director for speaking moments and a male director cues for songs. So, kind of in the moment you can tell a difference between what's getting called. Down here we have some backup indicators that are pre-made just in case we have some extra songs that we're going for. So we're going to start by bringing in some stuff. I got some folder shortcuts here. I'm going to go over to songs. We'll bring these in just right in order. So one of the things that you don't see that I've already done is before I make any set, actually I'll just show you. I'll open up each song individually. I will listen through it. I will double check lyrics as well with my ProPresenter files. So all of these songs have been pre-checked so that I know everything's warped properly. The lyrics are timed properly. Everything is functioning exactly how I would like it. So we won't be doing any of those checks here. Those have already been done. So new live set. We don't need to save because we didn't do anything. So let's start by bringing in some stuff. One thing that's important to note is if we look at a song here, there's different arrangements. So it's always important to note the arrangement as you're dropping in a song or working with it beforehand. So here we go. We got long intro for Lift Up Jesus. This is a default arrangement, Father's House, the Lake Point version of Promises, a little more upbeat, and vertical worship. Some songs we only have one arrangement for, but some songs we have multiples. So it's important to keep that in mind. Here we go. Dropping in the first song, Lift Up Jesus. We have some standard blocks here that will kind of work into our service flow. Lift Up Jesus is very first, so we're going to drop it in here above the welcome, which we don't really have a welcome this week, so we'll end up deleting that, but let's collapse these, highlight everything, Command X to cut, Command V to paste. So if I hit play here,
intro 2, 3, 4.
You can hear the song's in, and it's sounding good. It's in the key of B flat. We'll do keys later. We're going to just drag in all the songs before we start working with anything. So next, we got Father's House. This comes right after. Lift Up Jesus. We'll drop it in here. So as I'm going through this, sometimes I will find an error, potentially. If I do find an error, it's important to go to the song file right away and update the error so it gets fixed. Command-Shift-Delete to delete some extra space. Command Z to undo. If you don't want to use keyboard shortcuts, everything's up here. I'm just going to go options. I don't even use this really. There's a delete time. Edit. Delete time. That's what I'm doing here. So I'm going to back that out a little bit. Our third song is Promises. I'll drop that in down here. There is a spiritual direction before Promises. So I actually didn't put that quite in the right spot. This green is time code. You don't really need to worry about that yet because we're going to be dragging in new time code at the end of this. So we do have a spiritual direction here above Promises. So we're going to move that up there for now. Okay, let's drag in song 4. One welcome. Yeah, that's good. I'm kind of just looking at this service order right now, trying to make sure I do this the way I'm hoping. You know, I'll bring this over and kind of let you see what I'm seeing here. You can kind of see how we're working through this. All right, we're just gonna drop in all the songs first, and then we'll go from there. So next we have Pure Exaltation. We're gonna get rid of this welcome because we don't have a welcome in our service. Pure Exaltation is coming after the host moment. Okay. We will move this down to song 4 for now. It's important to cut and paste in the exact same line. So I'm cutting. Everything is collapsed. I'm cutting at the top of this tempo cues click bar, and I'm going to paste the exact same spot. Okay, so we kind of have all of our content in. Now we need to get things looking the way we want. First, we're going to condense all of our tempo click cues, all these items in blue. So I'm going to start by cutting this block, moving it up to the top, paste. Now I can delete these. Next, I'm going to work on this transition between these songs, trying to get it sounding how I want. So I'm going to start doing some listening. I don't usually run with this on, but I will turn on my click driver so you can hear the click. Yeah, I think we're actually just going to keep these full out. So that song ends. We'll probably all slam on the one. Boom, trash it out, ring it out.
2, 3, 4.
And ring it right into that song. So next we'll move, again, we'll move our MIDI notes up. Remember to cut and paste in the exact same way. We're deleting the extra blocks that we don't need. Next, we need to arrange this transition. Now, just remember, we're doing a spoken, or sorry, not a spoken word, spiritual direction here. So this is basically just some time to create some space in our service for some scripture or an encouragement or a challenge, or, you know, to push deeper into what we're singing about. So this, we might tweak this later in the week, but we're just going to kind of think through how we want this to feel. Let me just hear this intro so I can start to just dream a little.
1, 2, intro, 4, 5, 6.
Now the clicks are wrong. We'll fix those clicks in a bit. So this is one of those interesting moments where I did pick an upbeat version, but we'll probably choose to start with a down intro because we're doing the spiritual direction. So just to make a note of that for myself, I'm probably going to, I wish there was an interlude I could steal. I'll probably just steal this interlude here from the original track just as a mental note for myself. So we're going to figure out how to get this lined up. Okay, so this is where the downbeat starts. Let's get rid of this. And the count comes in here. We'll merge the verse and the intro here. So this is kind of a demo of what this could look like.
1, 2, intro, 4, 5, 6.
Oops. It actually starts here. Let's get this click straightened out. Underneath time signature, you're going to see this 6/8 bar. So we're gonna come up here. These are preset, but we're gonna update. Right click, edit time signature. Let's make that 6/8.
1, 2, intro, 4, 5, 6. Verse, 4, 5, 6.
So, okay, we'll use that as kind of our intro block. This one, since it's kind of just a down keys intro, I think it'd be nice just to not stress about an arranged piece underneath the spiritual direction. So let's just back this out. This is our tempo track. We're gonna try to just shoot for about a minute's worth of space here. If I highlight, you can see down at the bottom. I can't move my mouse there to show you, but it says duration. It shows up right here, 40 seconds. Let's give ourselves a little bit more time. Highlight this again. Duration 51 seconds. Technically, we're gonna have this intro as well. So this whole time is 1:12, so that'll be sufficient for us for now. So we're gonna back this tempo track up right to the end of the song, highlighting, shift clicking to highlight all this stuff. And we're gonna delete time again. Command Shift Delete. We'll bring in the proper click tempo or time signature here. I'm getting interrupted. Okay, we're back. We're gonna continue with our tutorial. So let's hear how the song ends. Father's house. So hopefully we'll celebrate as a church there. Yeah, we'll bring in our cue. So we'll kind of set the tempo for our keys player. We're not going to direct them to necessarily play anything in specific, but we'll say, here's where we want you to come in. Now this is an instance where I'm actually just going to I'm trying to decide if I want to bring song 3 over here. So we'll bring song 3 over here so we can practice a string rehearsal. But we'll add an extra indicator just for our reference of, hey, this is actually the song start. So this won't be something we use in terms of a MIDI triggered indicator. It's just more for our visual reference. So kind of here's where we're at now. We got to bring our click track in. Okay, we're going to get our tempo and cues and everything lined up now that we kind of have this transition worked out the way we want. Gonna copy and cut all of this stuff here. Gonna move this whole line up to here. Now, because there's no information on the cues channel here, these won't get overwritten, but I'm gonna cut. Now I do need to paste and everything to look exactly the same. So I'm going to compress this and then I'm going to bring my indicator up, paste. Okay, so other thing that I need to do is I want my click to come in there. So just for ease of operation, I'm going to bring my on start back to here like this. Now let's listen to this transition. Okay, so that resolves. The band plays, the worship leader, the band jumps in, the keys jump in, worship leader jumps in and kind of is talking. This is one of those instances where we could give them a 3/8 count.
Intro, 4, 5, 6.
Oops, not 3. I meant 3, 4. So it's just the click isn't so in your face.
Intro, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, that doesn't work with the timing. So we're gonna just keep it 6/8. So keys will jump in.
4, 5, 6.
They'll be playing this whole time. Eventually they'll get down to here.
1, 2. Intro, 4, 5, 6.
And the official intro will start. That's gonna be a good trigger for our worship leaders too, because they'll kind of know that, hey, wrap it up. the song's coming in. Okay. We have these extra blocks here we're going to get rid of. Now they're empty. Okay, so far we've set up, if we scroll out, song 1, transition to song 2, transition into spiritual direction, transition into our song, and that will wrap up that first set. So at the end of the song,
End.
okay, we jump into a host moment here. So we like to play these with clicks and cues. So we're going to snug this indicator back up, Command Shift Delete. So here's what we sound like now in this transition.
End.
To me.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, we need to add a new click time signature change. So we're going to right click where we want that, insert, we'll go back to 4/4 here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now you can kind of set the tempo how you want. Comes in at 80, but if you want to slow it down, like if you wanted to keep the same tempo, you can just drag this out.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Which song's 84, so it's not much different. We'll slow it down a little bit though. So we'll keep the tempo at 80. Okay, so now we have we're using this actually as the host moment, so we can just relabel this host moment. Let's see how long this is, make sure we have enough time. This is 4 minutes, 48 seconds for a 3-minute piece. Seems like there's plenty of time there. Okay, now this is one of those moments where we actually do not need this at all this weekend because we only have one talking moment where we will use the click track. So we're going to just feel comfortable deleting this. So we're going to bring the end of our host moment in line with song 4. So highlight all that, delete the space. So here's what will happen.
1, 2,
This is the host moment.
4.
So band's playing underneath the host moment. When the host moment ends, it'll trigger 4, and it'll go to this.
Intro. 2, 3, 4.
And you can see it's 70 beats per minute. So these are one of those moments where I might consider making the host moment 70 beats per minute so that it flows right in. First, let's bring our MIDI notes in line with the rest. Highlighting, making sure everything's lined up, looks the same, cutting, pasting, deleting my extra blocks now. Here we go. So let's just listen to that transition again.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Intro. 2, 3, 4.
I'm worried that a 70 beats per minute host moment will be a little slow, so I'm going to be okay with the tempo change there. If I needed to, I could bring in the click a little bit earlier to give the band more time to acclimate, but I think they're going to be just fine with that. So, for exaltation ends, we're still just focusing on our transitions right now. So as we get to the end of this, we're going to set up the reprise. So let's drag out our tempo bar, and we don't want the click to go off because we're gonna keep this moment going. Let's just see. So the song. We're gonna pull the original track here so we can kind of listen to what this moment might actually sound like. Jesus, evermore we worship you. Now this is a tricky one. That does sound really nice with the wind down. So we could stop the click, do a little fizzle out, and bring the count back in. This is a tough moment to plan for. So really, what's nice is this is where we get to think through how do we want this transition to flow. So I think what I'll do is I'll bring in a count. I'm not going to kill the click, but we are going to, actually, we are going to kill the click. So here's what we'll do. We'll kill the click, kind of crescendo that down, and then come back in with the keys. Let's bring the track back on so we can hear.
Intro 2, 3, 4.
So we could put this count kind of wherever we want. It kind of depends on how long we want that moment to linger. It could get really complex here if we wanted. But we'll kind of let a trash can happen there. We'll let a little trash happen. And then as the count's coming back in, we'll jump in with a progression right there and lead back into a reprise. So really what we're going to do here is we're basically going to, let's add another indicator just so we kind of know that this is the reprise and where it starts. So we're going to make sure there's at least 3 minutes of tempo here. Right now we're at minute 42. Okay, we don't have enough space. It's 2:51 total. So we get to create, insert silence. Now, wherever your indicator is, it's going to add a bunch of space there. We're just going to add 50 bars. Enter, enter. Now you can see that shifted that down quite a bit. Sorry, I'm trying to highlight. Now we have lots of time to work with. So let's see how long this is. This is 4 minutes and 41 seconds. Plenty of time. So at the end of this reprise, we don't need Ableton anymore. So we're going to go ahead and just delete everything extra for now. So shift click, delete all this extra time. So here we go. This is our reprise block.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now, probably, I'm just thinking ahead. I can imagine myself kind of jumping into this interlude right here.
Interlude 2, 3, 4.
You know what? I think there's actually an error right here that I never fixed in the original. Nope, that's good. Never mind.
Interlude 2, 3, 4.
Now, why is that called breakdown and then called interlude? It probably shouldn't be, but we're going to let that go for now. So we work with these reprises in rehearsal, so that can kind of turn into whatever we want it to be. It could be a different song, could be the bridge, could be the chorus, could be both, could stay down, could get big. We'll work on it. Okay, we're going to zoom out here, kind of see where we're at. So let's just label these. We don't always label them, but for the sake of what we're doing today, we will. We always want to keep these numbers because these are actually the MIDI notes that we use. I'm hitting tab to go back and forth between them easily. If you just hit tab, it'll jump automatically to the next block. Okay, as you can see, video announcements, Lift Up Jesus, we don't actually need any extra time here. I keep that block there just in case we do earn a welcome. So we're going to delete this space. We're starting to look pretty good now. Here's what we're going to do next. We're going to move all of our master tracks up. So just like we did with the clicks and cues and MIDI notes, we're going to cut and paste time signature markers original track click into the master bar. Now this is nice to do. We're going to delete the empty slots now. This is nice to do because it lets you turn on all the original tracks with one click. One click is in right here, on off, versus needing to go to each individual song, turn them on, turn them off. You can see how they're all in little folders. It gets a little tedious. So we're going to move all these things up. Oops. I just copied nothing, so I have to Command Z a couple times, get this back, cut, paste, delete the extras. Oh, so this is an interesting one here. So we have 2 original tracks here. So if I were to look at this, there's 5 levels or 5 different, what are they called? Audio tracks. We only have 4 up here. So trying to copy and paste this is not going to work. So this weekend we're using the Lake Point arrangement. So I'm going to delete this original track and we'll copy these 4 up there. So one of the things that you want to make sure you catch. Last song, Pure Exaltation. We're going to bring these up. Okay. Delete the extras. We're consolidating. Things are coming along nicely. Let's color these because we like things to look nice. I'm going to highlight all these tracks, color them black. Let's do our time signatures next. You can see these first 2 are at 8/8. This is 6/8. This is 8/8. We're using 4/4 for the host moment. And 6/8 here inside of promises. Let's just make sure these labels are accurate. I'm going to stretch this out. I'm going to get my indicator. I'm using the keyboard to get my indicator where I want. Command E to split this track. Command R to relabel. 4/4. But now we want to make sure that they're accurate at the top. So let's change, right click, edit time signature. This should be 8/8. We don't need to add another one here, but just for the visual sake, I will. Because it will automatically, it will stay where you want it to be. Actually, it's a good thing that I did that because you could see when I shifted that, it's changing where the initial downbeat is. So it's a good thing we added that in. We got a 6/8 spiritual direction there. And we don't need to do this, but we can. 6/8 song start. Lastly, 4/4 host moment and an 8/8 pure exaltation. Now notice this is off a little bit, so we're gonna zoom in. Make sure this is right on the downbeat, or your whole song is gonna feel really weird. Okay, we do need an all stop here. Now that I'm thinking of it, we don't want the click to go on forever. We're gonna go to our multi-site worship loops, go our click folder, bring in an all stop. Put it at the end here. Okay. This is me being OCD, but I like being OCD. I like continuation with my click on and off, so I can kind of see what's really happening. Clicks on, clicks off, clicks on, clicks off, clicks back in for spiritual direction. We're going to bring our on bar all the way to the end here. Click comes in for the host moment. Stays in all the way till we trash out. Comes back in for the reprise. Technically this should say all stop, but we won't be too particular. Next, let's set up our presenter is all ready to go. There's one thing I like to do personally. But we don't need to do that here. I like to automatically trigger slide 1 for my reprise playlist in advance so that my 3-minute timer starts, so I kind of know how long we've spent on the reprise. So we're going to bring in a slide 1 there. And, we'll just guess for now. This will get updated later, but it might be playlist 10, something like that. Okay, presenter is good because we already checked those ahead of time. Let's talk about time code. So there's a couple different options for time code. We have 25-minute segments and 10-minute segments. When we can, we like to use one block of time code. So if I highlight all of these first 3 songs, you're going to see that it's 16 minutes of music. So we'll use a 25-minute block, and we use 1 hour time code. It's our first block. We'll let that run all the way to the second song starts. Now you can see between Pure Exaltation and the reprise, we need about 11 minutes. So we'll go with just a 10-minute block here. we don't really need 11 minutes because we have some extra time. Whoops, I brought in the wrong. Oh, that's a 60-minute block of hour 10. So hour 2 for kind of song set 2. Now we have extra reprise time here. So yeah, 3.5 minutes. So we'll just be like extra OCD and we'll trim off this extra space. And then if the click stops, we'll know we have really overran our reprise time. This track wasn't warped, so that's why it kind of glitched a little bit on us. We'll just delete the excess, re-drag it out. And now we have a nice end to our set. We actually don't use these anymore, so we're just going to get rid of our sound scenes. Other MIDI you can keep in. Oftentimes people will delete that at the local campus level if they're not using it. Our master tracks are done. Now we're going to color and code our songs. There's really no rhyme or rhythm to this. You could do it by energy level or, sometimes, oops, wrong button. Sometimes I do it by season where I'm like, oh, it's fall, so I'll do fall colors. But just pick a color, make sure the song's colored that, and the tracks are colored that. So we'll just start with red. Highlight the songs before you expand. Then when you open them, they're all highlighted. If you watch up at the top here, you're going to see everything kind of nicely become the same color. So it's quickly easy to identify visually where you are in the set. There we go. Promises. Give me this pink. Honestly, this does not matter. Which is what matters is that we do different color songs. This one we'll do bluish. Okay. Yeah, now things are looking really good. The last thing we'll do is kind of get our key set for the weekend. So we can see we're in B flat, D flat. This is needed to be picked. B flat, C. We're Lift Up Jesus is in B flat, so we're good there. Father's House is in C, so we need to update this. So from B flat to C is a half step down. So we're gonna highlight everything that is tonal. So bass, we don't ever change drums, loop, percussion. Unless sometimes we'll put a note here if something has like something more tonal in it that we need to adjust, but usually we don't. So bass down, we're gonna drop this 1 semitone. We'll update the label to C. Now, don't forget to do the master track. Down a semitone. That's in C. Looks like spiritual direction. We're going to keep this in, move this to G, which I was playing with this the other day. I think I want to move this to A for myself. So we're going to move this to A, actually. So host moment will be in A. And spiritual direction will be in A. So I'm setting these for the Rochester campus as well. So we're actually going to go key of A here. So promises, we're going to drop from B flat to A another half of a step to get to A. Also, don't forget the master tracks. Now, this master track is kind of weird, so I'll highlight the whole thing so you can see. Oh, sweet. Never mind. The other one was weird, so we need to go from +1 to 0, down a half step. Now this is an A. Host moment, we're staying in A. For exaltation, we're bringing this up a whole step into D. So bass down, make this a 2 for a whole step. Collapse, update, let's update the label. And update my master tracks to 2. Okay, lastly, closing comments, we're going to be in D. And now we have a full Ableton set ready to go. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to go to Worship Loop Projects, Sunday morning files, the year. Our naming system is 4-digit year, 2022, 2-digit month, 03, 2-digit day, 27. And now what we will do is, it's the most important step. We need to listen back through the set to make sure that there are no issues with cues, no issues with transitions, no issues with loops being out of the right key, no issues with, like I said, lyrics are already set. Those are pre-checked on an individual song basis. But if we made any adjustments to a song, like let's say we wanted to duplicate a chorus or something, we would want to make sure that flows right. But I just reworked. This is a brand new song for the weekend. This one we're doing a creative intro with. I just reworked all of Promises for a new arrangement. So in this song we're doing a reprise. So I'm not feeling the need to reinvent the wheel on any songs because we're already doing so many new things. So at this point, we are done. So let me show you what we'll do at this point. Now we want to open up our Finder window and find our actual project file. So same path. We're going to copy this. However, works for you. We need to get it into Google Drive. So I have them all stored on my computer, so I can just simply do this. Put them in the Ableton project files. This was from last weekend, so we can delete these. This is for this weekend, so we'll leave it. Songs, I like to keep my current rotations updated. So, if I make any changes, people have it. So I'll just update all of these tracks, copy, paste them over here, and replace when it asks me. You can see there's 86 song files. We'll replace all of them. So anything that I updated will now be updated on Google Drive. We have a new song this weekend, Father's House. So that's up, good. We want to make sure that people have access to those tracks. I also updated the song Promises. So we're going to go to our worship loops, multi-track master files, default, Promises, where are you? And we're going to copy this whole folder. We're going to put it up just in case anyone's missing a file. They will have access to all this stuff. That should be it. As you jump into this, there's a lot of small details to make sure you have right. Almost think of each layer as something to double check. First layer, time signatures, are they accurate? Second layer, indicators, are they in the right places? Are your cues good? Are your tempo tracks where you want them? Is the click coming on and off where you want it? Are your lyrics accurate? Those should be pre-checked. Is time code set? And you get into your master tracks, time signature, markers. Another reason that we like doing this is you can, let's say you're in pure exaltation. I can open up my master folder, see where the chorus is. It's right here.
Chorus 2, 3, 4.
You got. Okay. That should be it for the demo. Thank you for your time.